In this video, I would like to demonstrate Kreg's plug hole cutters. As I mentioned in a previous video, and I'll put a link to the video up here, I highly recommend pocket holes for beginners as far as a joinery technique because it's easy to learn and it's a very strong joint, as I stated before. But it does have a downside. The downside is the pockets. The pockets is not aesthetically pleasing. And if your joinery is going to be outward facing, or is it going to be the presentation side of the product that you're working on, you don't want to see that. So Kreg sell these commercially available plugs to disguise the pocket hole. But the only issue with them is they're only available in so many different species, common species like birch, maple, cherry, and so forth. They brilliantly came up with the idea of these pocket hole plug cutters. They come in 3 different sizes. There's a micro, a standard, and an HD. Micro is being for undersized pocket holes when you use their micro jig. If you're familiar with the common manual pocket hole jig, they come with different insert. This insert is the most popular one, which is the standard one. There's also one for making the micro pocket hole, and there's an associated bit for making micro pocket holes. Same thing with the HD. There's a larger one for the HD, and the HD is for mainly construction, framing lumber, and the like. Any one of these jigs can accept the guide for the pocket hole plug cutter. Today I'm going to demonstrate the standard one. I recommend using a high-speed quarter drill over a battery operated because these tend to have higher RPM. I also recommend dust collection. Stop this real quick. As I said, they're not available in all species. So let's use this case in point. This is a maple, but this is what someone will call ambrosia or wormy maple. And they do have a maple. It may or may not match. But if I have a workpiece I wanted to get an exact match, I actually could take a blank like this of the same material I'm working with. I could even try to grain match it. There's a little bit of a technique to this. Always make sure you get when you put the drill into the guide, always make sure you get it up to speed first before you plunge at you'll get a feel for it, but you want it to be not too fast and not too slow, and you want it to be a consistent feed rate. And that helps with tear out. I plunged a little bit too fast. You see I got a little bit of tear out. It's not a big deal. This is how it looks when you initially make it. And you have to cut this out either on a bandsaw or on a table saw. And you want to match. I don't think you necessarily have to match that angle, but if you can, you can tilt the blade to match this little tapered angle and cut it out. I cut this one a little bit short. You can cut it a little bit longer. You'll make a series of these plugs and you can cut them out and they just fall out. These are examples of some that I made. I have 2 of these already in. You just apply the glue. You put them in. And when it's dry, you can either use a hand plane, you can use a router, or you can even sand them flush. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to be notified when new content is dropped on this channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and drop a comment down below.